welcome along to the Project Cars 2 Virtual Racing League. Today we are joining the PS4 gang as we head to the last round of the G40 Championship that we've been running. Yes, it's round 8 today, and we are at Dubai Club Circuit where the title is still up for grabs. It's going to be between Monty MC Momo, who holds a 7-point lead over Stuart Davis, who's in second place and looking to hunt him down. But if you look back to the midfield, there's all battles all the way through, because although Monty and Stu have been the class of the field, as we said, taking pretty much all the wins between them, with Monty having a few more wins than Stuart, the midfield is just as tight and just as exciting as ever. So Dubai Autodrome, not one that drivers will be all too familiar with. It's not a race we've actually visited before on the Virtual Racing League, so I wonder how much practice they've been getting in. Everything will be revealed very shortly, I'm sure. So there's the confirmation of the points order. Stuart needs to outscore Monty by 7 points tonight. So if Monty MC1 finishes 6th, no matter what Stuart does, Monty will win the championship today. So that's what he needs to do, finish 6th or higher. Stuart obviously just needs to go for the win. Then Del Boy needs to outscore Alex, Dan and Welsh Taff by a good margin. All those drivers chasing Del Boy there for the coveted 3rd place. Pixie just ahead of Mike there, and Matt and Tyler Atom Bomb. I called him Auto Bomb the last round, but it's actually Atom Bomb, so apologies for that. We'll see how they all get on. Anyway, before that, let's have a little look at the highlights from Brands Hatch. Fantastic racing, definitely worth going to check out if you haven't seen it already. So subscribe to the channel and you'll know when all the races are uploaded then. Anyway, back to today. Qualifying, Stuart Davis did what he needs to do and get pole position by half a second ahead of Monty. That is a big gap considering the tiny margins we've seen between them all season. Del Boy is in 3rd, starting on the grid, ahead of Mike, Welsh Taff. Tyler Atom Bomb starts 6th, ahead of Pixie, and Matt starting in 8th there. So let's see how they get on today. And after a long wait looking at the results of qualifying, it's on the grid now for the final round of this championship. And it's go, and Stuart Davis gets a great start, as he always has done. Monty as well is clean away by the looks of it, heading down to turn 1 now. That's Mike looking on the inside, but he's been out-dragged a little bit by Welsh Taff and Del Boy. Welsh Taff's had a really good start, he's up to 3rd there. Pixie's up to 6th, ahead of Tyler Atom Bomb, and Matt still in 8th there, coming into turn 1 now. Stuart's got a nice little gap there, but it's Monty who's under pressure here. Welsh Taff goes through on the inside there, and round the outside, oh bang, and that's Monty round. The championship leaders round, that could be a really big one for this championship, with Stuart Davis leading the way. He's down to 7th at the moment. Stuart would win the championship, I think, if it finished like this. And oh dear, this is a really under pressure moment now for Monty, with Stuart having a nice little margin back to Mike here, who's battling Del Boy by the looks of it. These two came together a few times at Brands. They don't want to do that again today, and it looks like Del Boy's all over the back of him. Pixie as well has had a good start to 5th there. Great start from Pixie. He's been known for having good starts. And Tyler Atom Bomb under investigation for causing a collision. We'll have to have a little look at the replay, see exactly what happened. And now Del Boy's put in Mike under a great bit of pressure. He's going to have a lunge down into this corner here. Oh, very tight, hard on the brakes. He's having a look down the inside, and I think he's got the inside advantage now. And he's got him. Yes, he has. A great move there from Del Boy on Mike. Mike now is fighting back. He's in the slipstream. It's a long run over the start-finish line here to complete lap 1. And Alex, what do you make of that? Monty's down in 7th. Look, he's got it all to do.
Yeah, it could be huge for the championship down in 7th. It said you only need 6 to win, so if he catches anyone up in the front of the pack, he should be favourite to get the championship. But luckily for him, it was only the first lap, so he's got plenty of time to catch up. But it feels like since Mike's joined the PS4 League, he's always battling with Del Boy. Those two can't be separated.
Yeah, it's very true, because like I said, Brands Hatch, I think they took each other up. We had 2 races at Brands Hatch, didn't we? 2 sprint races, and I think they crashed into each other both times, if I'm not mistaken there.
Yeah, there's a few ding-dongs at Brands Hatch. We see the start here. Let's try and see what happens to Monty. It looks like it's possibly Matt or Del Boy going on the inside quite fairly. It looks like... Yeah, it looks like Monty just loses slightly, and then Tyler just goes straight into the back of him. Didn't expect Monty to be going so slow.
Yeah, Monty, I think, was very cautious if we ride on board with Tyler Attenbomb there in turn 1 and smacking into the back of Monty. But I think Monty was very, very cautious there. Possibly, you know, rightly so. But I think he's had quite an attacking style in this championship. Even at the last round, where he didn't need to do too much, he really took the fight to Stewart and made some quite brave manoeuvres into the last corner in particularly, I remember. So it shows that most of the championship, Monty's been absolutely on the attack no matter what, and today he's been a bit cautious into turn 1. Perhaps it's caught him out now, but looking back at the fight, that's Del Boy still in front of Mike. He's a little bit out of shape here, and Mike's got a great exit out of this corner as Del Boy's still squirming away, trying to get on the power here, and Mike's really in the slipstream and got a great run. Is Del Boy going to go defensive? We ride on board with Mike. You can see it's night time here as well, so lights glaring the driver in front as they go down the straight. Some drivers might be flashing each other. We see that a lot in the GT3 races, and Mike has got the inside line. He's surely going to take this position away from Del Boy unless he can try to brave it on the outside. Del Boy looks like he's going to go trying for the cutback here. I don't think it's a track where the cutback works so strong, is it? And oh, he's run wide again now, and this is going to let who's that? Who's that in the green car? Welsh Taff.
Oh,
that's confusing.
Yeah, he's taken over BTCC Dan's livery. Usually, Welsh Taff's using the white and red one, so
yeah,
he's doing him well. He's up in 4th, quite a high position for him, and if these two keep on battling, he could sneak a podium at this rate. Ooh, bit of a nudge there, but no one's hit, so they'll carry on.
Yes, a crunch of metal there, and I think Welsh Taff has probably left a nice smudge of green paint on that car in front there on the rear bumper, and Pixie is hoping he can leave a smudge of yellow paint on them now as he's coming through and looking to pick off any scraps. He's in 5th place, going very well indeed as Pixie. If you look back now at Matt in 6th position, fending from Monty, and it has to be said Monty has traditionally had the pace over Matt in this championship, and to be honest, it feels like a matter of time before he gets past him and gets that 6th position he needs to claim the championship. No matter what Stewart does up in front, he leads by 4 seconds, but Monty here could be in the position to win the championship. He's going for the inside, and Matt is staying on the outside of the more traditional racing line. Let's see what Matt does here, and Monty, is he going to go quite aggressive? He dives on the inside, wins the apex, but he's run a bit wide. Oh, and they touched slightly, but I think Monty's through now. Yes, he is, and Matt has actually lost out a little bit of ground there now, but fair play to Matt. It wasn't really his fight, was it?
Yeah, that's put Monty up into championship winning position now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
6th place. So that's the big story there. So I don't think Matt was going to be able to hold off Monty for long. Still getting used to it, but he held on for as long as he could. And it looks like Pixie's having to go at Welsh Taff now. As this 3-way is turned into a 4-way for 3rd place at the moment. It looks like Mike's just cleared off a bit, but talking of clearing off, Stu's has bolted down the road. He's got a nice 4.5 second gap.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's really extending the advantage here. And if you're Stewart and you've only got one job today, and although most of the races you're always trying to win, aren't you, as a driver? But his job really today is he has to win no matter what, isn't it? And then just hope for the best. So his job becomes quite simple in a way.
Yeah, at least he knows he's done the most he can do, and it's just down to luck on the day. But at the moment, it's going against him.
Absolutely, and do you reckon Monty will be able to catch this pack here? They're really fighting hard, aren't they? Welsh Taff, look, running wide there, really testing the limits of his abilities and his car going through that corner. And Pixie pressurising too. Monty could even catch up to this group, perhaps.
Yeah, the pace Monty's got at the moment is 117. It's only Stu that's faster by quite a bit. He's almost 2 seconds faster, so he must be enjoying this track. But yeah, Monty could easily catch the front 5 if he gets on it. As we see a racing incident between Monty and Tyler, which I think is fair, because there's not much Tyler could do really.
Yeah, I think it's quite fair as well, and especially in the first lap, first corner incidents where the field really concertina's up. It's very difficult not to run into someone, isn't it? We do see it quite a lot because it's just racing, isn't it? That happens in the first corner, and I think Del Boy there, he's using all the track and a little bit more, and no track limits here.
Yeah, if it's great, it's okay, as they say. But
yeah.
It seems to be working. Obviously, no track limits. Drivers sort of work with themselves and say what's all right and what isn't. But it seems they've all agreed that you can go wide that last corner, and it seems to be working. As we see, Monty's already on the back of Pixie, so he's definitely caught up pretty fast, and he's taken quite a tight line. It seems to be working. Has he got him past? I think Pixie will have the inside line here, so he can break a bit later. He does. Tries to shut the door. Oh, bit of bang in. But they're still side by side, and now Monty's through on the inside. That's a great side by side action.
Yeah, fair play to Pixie. He's really putting up a fight there, and Monty's just trying to get through with as little hassle as possible, and he is through now. But Pixie still hasn't given up hope. Look, he's having a look to see if he can get back past. He really wants that position. He hasn't got too much to fight for, Pixie, in this championship now. He's a little bit adrift from the guys in front. But although actually with Alex Brown not being present at this race, perhaps Pixie could catch him, and those two have been pretty close on circuit as well, haven't they? Whoa.
Yeah, they've been really close.
Welsh Taff, where's he off to?
Yeah, he's taken the extended route. As we see, he's really trying to chase down a podium position and try and get Del Boy. I think it might be it would be his first podium if he gets this, if that's correct. Not quite sure. I'd have to look back. So it's all worth him getting it, especially like you said, Alex isn't racing, so I'm not sure if he's ahead or around about, so you really want to make sure as he goes super wide there, he's going off screen. Yeah,
Welsh Taff, if that indeed is correct, he hasn't had a podium. I'm very surprised because he's been completely on the pace since he's joined the league. But when you think about it, he's had some tough rivals as well, like this man here, Stuart Davis, leading by 6 seconds now in the familiar luminescent orange and black livery. And he's just got a very nice way around this circuit by the looks of it. Surely he would have been practicing a lot for this one. Obviously he races in the GT3 league as well, so he's had to practice quite a lot, hasn't he, altogether, because he was in championship hunting that too.
Yeah, it's quite a big jump between the two. You've got a little Ginetta Junior with not much power, and then you're jumping into a big GT3 car, so it's might throw him off for a bit. As we see Matt now getting harassed by Tyler. Will Tyler go for a dive down the inside? Matt's going wide, so he might be going for the cutback. Ooh, just bumps him a bit, but this might give him an advantage on the inside. You think he might duck back in, try and get to the slipstream, but we cut back away to Mike, Del Boy and Welsh Taff. So Mike's lost a bit of time somewhere, and Del Boy's all over the back of him again.
Yeah, Mike's dropped about a second, I think, on the last lap. You look at his lap times there as well. He's really fallen off the pace. He must have had a mistake somewhere on the last lap, and this has really put him under pressure now. And we often see this in racing, don't we, where the drivers are absolutely on the limit. Sometimes it doesn't look like it, but they really are pushing as hard as they can go. And they make a mistake, they're under pressure, and then that compounds it, doesn't it? They make more and more mistakes as a result. And now, oh, look, very sideways indeed there for Del Boy. He nearly lost it there, and Welsh Taff nearly helped him round. But thankfully, they're all pointing the same way, and the race continues here for second, third, and fourth position. And Welsh Taff is really on a hunt here. You can see his two rivals lined up in front of him, and he wants both of them. But Mike now is really under pressure from these two, whereas before he had a nice bit of dark space in his wing mirror. Now he's got headlights distracting? How distracting is it, Alex, to have those headlights behind you?
Pretty distracting. It's even more distracting when they're flashing, when it's like a little disco going on. But
Yeah.
they seem to be behaving themselves, and Monty is closing up on these three quite fast. You might see him in the background with his lights, but going into the first corner, there's a couple of gaps there. Delboy goes for that wide initial and then cuts quite tight on the second part. So that's the line he seems to enjoy, but it seems Welsh Taff goes the opposite way to him, and that works for him, which is quite interesting. And he goes down the inside.
Whoa!
Oh, that's a very obtuse move. Now around the outside of the next corner. So that was a great move by Welsh Taff. He took full advantage of the momentum he had out of the first corner.
Absolutely incredible manoeuvre there from Welsh Taff in the green machine, and that came out of absolutely nowhere. He really went for that one, and like you say, Alex, he used his momentum really well, and I don't think Delboy even expected that to be coming. It looked like he was just going about his business, and suddenly this car was on the inside and there's nothing he could do about it, and he took that position away up into third now, and Delboy surely will be wanting to get that back as soon as he can. This guy here as well, Monty, he's not too far behind now either. He's only 3 or 4 seconds adrift of this battling trio, and Pixie as well, he's dropped back a little bit, but he'll probably have Tyler Atom Bomb for company soon, because this man here is really on a mission. He's doing 1:18.5s, which is probably like, well, it really is up there, isn't it, with the time, so he's going along very nicely. But anyway, back to the real battle here. Welsh Taff is certainly on the move. After that fantastic overtake, he'll be full of confidence now, and Mike, maybe his confidence a little bit dented by losing a bit of time, is going to be under pressure from this man.
Yeah, go back to Monty. He's really man on a mission. He's still not the fastest. Stu out front, he's got building his lead nicely. So Stu's doing all he can, but I think Monty's just got this at the moment, unless there's a silly mistake, as he runs a bit wide there, but nothing too serious. He may even want to just sit in fifth and not get involved in the battle ahead, but I don't think he's like that. He'll want to have some fun and not just cruise about.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think he's, although he'd be very happy to win the championship, I think, oh, I'm diving into the pits now, is Mike. So,
Mike.
Just as a reminder, the drivers have to make a mandatory pit stop at some point during this 21 lap race, as Welsh Taff goes very wide, losing a bit of time there by the looks of it on the exit. We'll have a little look what happens. This is on board with Welsh Taff. I think this is manoeuvre, Alex. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, Delboy leaves the door massively open, so just have to go through and say thank you.
Yeah, it's almost like he locked up or something going into that corner, but it's certainly, like you say, left the door open. And Stuart Davis, our race leader, in the pit lane now. He's just exiting his pit box. Looks like he got away nice and cleanly, not too long a stop. There's a driver in the background as well. That's Mike. He's in the pits as well as Mike. And Pixie now takes over the lead. So they're all coming in. Oh, there's Pixie. He's in the pits too. They've decided to all pit on the same lap by the looks of it. What's going on here?
Yeah, we'll do it's follow the leader, I guess. They're all gone in except for, is Monty still in fifth? Tyler stayed out, so he's gone into second now, I'll have to imagine. Where is he? No, he's gone to fifth. Matt ahead. Yeah, I'm not sure if that board's correct.
Yeah, but, I'm struggling to read this one too. It looks a bit jumbled up. All the times look different. Anyway, there's Tyler. He's ahead of Stuart. We'll talk about the on-track action whilst the board figures itself out. But Tyler here is ahead of Stuart. So Tyler certainly hasn't pitted. Stuart has pitted. So that's interesting now. See how much of a fight Tyler puts up, because obviously he's not really in the same race today as Stuart, is he?
Yes, I think it's Welsh Taff leading, Delboy second, Monty third now, and Matt is fourth. So the top four hasn't pitted yet. So you still have Delboy on the back of Welsh Taff, but more interestingly, Monty's on the back of these two. So he could pit early and try and undercut these two and get past them. But it all depends if they start battling.
Yeah, obviously he won't be looking to take on tyres, so it won't be a tyre advantage undercut, will it? As Stuart Davis lines up Tyler here. Is he going to go for a dive, or is he going to be cautious? If I know Stuart, he's definitely not going to be cautious. Yeah, he goes for the dive. Thought so. Mr. Lunge, living up to his nickname. Down the inside. Oh, he runs very wide though. Look, this is going to give Tyler a chance to cut back, isn't it? Yes, it is. And there's Tyler. Atom bombs his way back past Stuart. So this is very interesting. Stuart losing a little bit of time here. And let's not forget Mike there in 6th. He's 25 seconds off the lead, and he was battling with Welsh Taff and Del Boy, so we need to watch that. I don't know what the pit time is here for making a pit stop. Do you know, Alex?
It seems pretty fast. It seems like in the 20 seconds if they don't take fuel and tyres. They haven't lost that much time. Like Pixie was around 10 seconds, or a bit more so, about 15. He's only on 35 seconds now behind Del Boy, so it's not that bad really, as we see Welsh Taff heading in the pits.
Yes, Welsh Taff now coming into the pit box. There's Stuart Davis. He's coming around the last couple of corners here, but he's still behind, very crucially. Running very wide, Stuart there. Oh, I thought he was going to lose it then. He's a bit ragged, isn't he? He's stuck behind Tyler Attenbomb here. He can't seem to get past. He went for the dive into turn 1 last time and ran wide. Let's see what happens this time. He pulls out the slipstream now, and he's going over the start-finish line. Down the hill they go into turn 1. Stuart's got the inside line. He'll brake a little bit earlier this time, you'd have to imagine, after the last lap. Tyler's probably going to look for the cutback once again, but Stuart this time doesn't run wide. He keeps a nice tidy exit, and he gets back ahead of him. So good little bit of driving there from Stuart, and by Tyler Attenbomb too. Welsh Taff exiting now. Well, that hasn't really worked out, has he? He's behind Mike now. He's back behind Mike.
No, I think Mike was ahead of him. It was Del Boy that was in between the two of them. So, if anything, Welsh Taff's actually closed the gap a bit to Mike. So that's worked in his favour. It just depends on when Del Boy pits. We see Monty now pitting, because he might have seen a gap where he comes out ahead of either Mike or Welsh Taff.
Yeah, very right, Alex. I was just gasping there at the speed at which Monty was taken into the pit lane. It looked absolutely, well, dangerous, let's say, going through there. We know what's going to happen from the Xbox group. When you speed in the pits, you get disqualified on this game. So very lucky there. If you got disqualified, it would be championship over, game, set, match to Stuart. So he really needs to play that one a little bit cautiously, I thought. But it looked like he was going for it, and he's in the pits now. Let's see where he comes back out. He'll be hoping to catch this battling pair here, they won't be wanting to lose time, will they, to Monty and the likes of Del Boy, who's leading this race at the moment, hasn't pitted. There's Monty now exiting the pit lane, so he will be behind this pair by the looks of it. But they certainly need to watch that they don't lose too much time, don't they, Alex? Otherwise Del Boy could pit and come back out ahead.
Yeah, that'd be their big worries.
Oh, look at this.
Saying that must have been a hell of a in-lap for Monty, as he's right on the back of these two now, so he could inherit seconds, as Tyler hasn't pitted and neither has Del Boy. So this could be quite interesting to see where the final orders get. Yeah,
it really will be. I didn't expect... well, I think both could be said here. I didn't expect Monty to be that close, and pulling out the slipstream down the inside goes Welsh Taff. Yes, he's got the position, I think. Fantastic manoeuvre on Mike. Mike's fighting back, though. He's on the outside now. Monty, sorry, yes, Monty is through as well. So Mike's lost 2 positions there by the looks of it. And that's what happens when you get run wide, isn't it? And then the train of cars come through. Monty took full advantage of that, like you'd expect him to, championship leader. And that puts him now right onto the back of Welsh Taff's green car. Fantastic racing. And Mike really needs to get back here.
Yeah, that's perfect opportunistic move by Monty there on Mike. He just saw, as Welsh Taff goes wide.
We just assume that's his normal line now.
Yeah, there's Welsh Taff just nudging Mike out the way so he could get through. That puts Mike off, and then Monty just calmly goes through on the inside and takes 5th place for now, and he looks like he wants 4th.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's really positioning his car in an aggressive way, and there's Welsh Taff going wide again. He's got some understeer by the looks of it, and Monty's through. You could probably see that one coming. You could see him trying to get the cut back, and it really works out really nicely there. Welsh Taff, who ran a little bit wide, just ceded that position quite easily to Monty in the end, and now Mike will be looking to get revenge. But whilst all this has been going on, Del Boy could come out ahead. I think he's probably seen what's been happening, and that gap's coming down, so I'm guessing Del Boy's in the pits right now, and he might be able to see what's happening on the timing screen and think this is a good opportunity to the pits. I could get a lot of them here. Yeah,
he's the man that can take full advantage of this. We'll see a replay now. I think it's Welsh Taff's move. He's right on the bumper of Mike, just pulls out, easy as you do it, quite a tight corner, big break in. Forces him to go wide so he can take the proper line through, and then that forces Mike to just slow down that bit extra, and Monty's through as well. As you see now, it's a bit of a bump. it's fair, and so he can take the line. And Monty says, "Thank you, I'm coming through too." There's Del Boy pits now. This will be interesting.
Yeah, hard but fair racing, I'd say. And like you say, yeah, Del Boy's now in the pit lane in that number 30 bright blue, baby blue Ginetta G40 Junior car, and he's exiting the pit lane very shortly indeed as Monty, MC Momo, Welsh Taff and Mike exit at the last turn, heading over the start-finish line now. This is going to be really close. What's going to happen here, do you reckon, Alex?
It's going to be really close. It depends on what speed Monty and Welsh Taff have. I think they'll have the speed to go around the outside, but it depends if he blocks, and he does, and that's a bit brave by Del Boy. They could have hit him and said, oh, he crossed out the pit exit line, but both got away with it, and there's a couple of car lengths from Monty there, so that actually worked out really well for Del Boy. But Monty's on the attack, he's looking at the inside, Del Boy cuts that off. Will Monty have a dive like Welsh Taff? And Welsh Taff's lost the position to Mike's, but he's having another go into the same position again. Bit cleaner this time, no bump, and he's through.
Yeah, Welsh Taff's almost like a carbon copy, but like you say, a little bit cleaner. But what? How close was that on the exit? You could see Del Boy just swoop over the pit exit line, really showing his intentions off there to Monty, saying, no matter what, I'm going to keep this position. I don't care if I'm crossing the pit exit line because I know the penalties are turned off and I'll get away with it. And you can see Monty there coming and he's thinking, now I've got a fight on my hands. Del Boy, we've seen his defensive driving before. He knows how to defend a position, but of course Monty, he knows how to take full advantage of any mistakes that happen. And Del Boy really needs to be on his A-game here. He's got another 4 laps to go if he wants to keep this position. Monty's already having a look. He's showing a nose here, trying to distract Del Boy. And it's a really hard, tricky turn 1 here where you have to get a good exit or you're going to be absolutely under pressure and really in trouble coming out of this corner onto this straight here. And we've seen lots of overtakes already in this race happen into these few corners as a result of messing up turn 1. So Monty's probably thinking that might be one of his best chances. What do you think, Stu? What do you think, Alex? I was looking at Stu.
Yeah, it could also depend on Tyler in second, where he comes out. I think he's left it a bit too late, but he's been following Stu nicely. Is he pitting? No, he's staying out, so he could be leaving this really late. But yeah, it depends. Those guys battling. It's Fournette second, so this could be really close. A little mistake, and it looks like Monty's through. He's through.
Yeah, he is. I didn't see it live. I'll hopefully see a replay. But Del Boy somewhere might have made a mistake, or Monty might have gone for a lunge. We'll have to wait and see. But Stuart, up in the head now, he will not want to see this when he looks at that timing screen as he's driving around, will he? He will not want to see Monty in third, because he knows now, no matter what happens, Monty will probably win the championship.
Yeah, see a replay, this might be the overtake. Better exit out of the right-hander there, and he just puts on the inside. Del Boy too late on the defensive. Does try the cut back, but it's too late by that point. The move's done.
Yeah, exactly. It was a very clean exit indeed. And fair play, Monty. He really nailed that exit out of there. And Del Boy, like you say, he had no chance of covering that off then once he'd had such a good exit. And there's Welsh Taff. Oh, and he's under really big pressure here from Mike. Mike is trying to repay the favour down into that corner. Welsh Taff's had him twice. And he's not quite as good on the brakes for the looks of it in that particular corner. And this is Del Boy. He's still tucked underneath Monty, isn't he? Monty's not pulled away here. Del Boy's still got him in his grasps here, and he's trying to get through. And look at this now, Welsh Taff's under pressure too from Mike. Mike's got the inside line as they come now over that hill into the last couple of corners of this circuit. Another few laps to go here, and Welsh Taff's going to try and brave it around the outside, but Mike's got the inside line, and Welsh Taff takes his normal line out of there, not as wide as normal, and Del Boy's through, is he? No, he's not. I thought Del Boy might have had the run out of there, but he didn't, and he has to tuck back into the slipstream. And talking about slipstreams, here's Monty Msumomo under pressure from the slipstream in Del Boy, coming down into turn 1 now. Monty has to go a little bit defensive as we cut back to Tyler Atombomb in the pit lane, exiting the pits now, and down the inside goes Mike on Welsh Taff, but he brakes a little bit too early, couldn't quite get the move done there, and decides to slot back in as they head out of turn 1 now and try and get another run on him. It's all kicking off here in the last few laps, Alex.
Yeah, it's really kicking off, and what's interesting, well, Monty will still have to be careful because Pixie's only 2 seconds behind Tyler now. So if there's a big incident and he gets caught or something happens and he can't get moving again, that's him out. And they're also catching Matt up in 8th place, so they'll have to be careful of him.
Yeah, they really will be. Matt, I mean, fair play, Matt also normally gets out of the way. He hasn't quite got the pace in these cars to be in with a shout of winning or being on the podium at most of the races, but you know, he's a very solid driver and he's very fair as well, isn't he, as Matt? So I think Monty probably knows that, and I don't think he'll be too worried about this one. But at the same time, it's a threat, isn't it, to his potential championship win here, and he'll be wanting to get through as quick as he can and as cleanly as he can on this one. But he has got a nice bit of a gap now back to Del Boy, so Del Boy looks like he's fallen back that last lap. Over a second half slower he was that last lap than Monty actually, and Welsh Taff has actually caught back up to it now, and Pixie looks like he's trying to catch Tyler Rattenbaum actually now too, as Tyler's exited the pits.
He's looking very racy behind Tyler, so that could be another battle with only 2 laps to go.
Yeah.
As you see, Welsh Taff in 4th, he'll be desperate to try and get onto the back of Del Boy and get a podium.
And just while we get a chance, what do you make of this championship, Alex? I think it's been absolutely fantastic. Close racing all the way through, like we'd expect from the Ginettas.
Yeah, been brilliant racing, really close. There's been obviously 2 front runners in Stu and Monty, but it has provided some great midfield racing, especially when there's the bigger grids. And as we see Stu go on to the final lap, he'll be taking it easy really. He's almost got a 20-second lead, so he's really put the effort around here. But yeah, another fantastic championship provided by the Ginettas.
Yeah, and what do you reckon was the best one, the Xbox one or this one for entertainment? Or is that unfair to ask that?
That's probably a bit unfair, I think. Especially since they're GT5, so they're a bit faster, and I think they had a slightly bigger grid. But
well, one thing I would say, this grid size has really improved in this championship. We've welcomed lots of new drivers in the form of Mike there, Tyler Attenborough, Matt as well as a relative newcomer. Pixie's been carried on too. We're missing Alex Brown and Dan Holloway, which were the more experienced drivers from this race. So actually, that's going to play a big part in this midfield battle in the championship, with Welsh Taff and Del Boy taking good points by the looks of it, unless they take each other out here, because they're very close on track indeed. And Welsh Taff's got a run on Del Boy. Del Boy goes to cover it off very late indeed as they go past the lap runner of Matt. Oh, and Matt gets a punt out of the way from Del Boy by the looks of it, but Del Boy keeps that position, and I don't know what's going on there. I just see headlights, and I think that's Mike trying to fight back on Welsh Taff. And Stewart crosses the line. It'll be a bittersweet moment for him, because it looks like Monty will come across the line shortly and take the championship after Stewart takes the win here today. And here is our new champion by the looks of it, Monty MC Momo. He's driven absolutely fantastically all season. In fairness to him, he's been absolutely on it every single time. Not always the quickest, but always taken advantage and crosses the line. And he is the G40 PS4 champion. Congratulations, Monty MC Momo. Great driving. And look at this, all the way to the line. And Del Boy just gets there before Welsh Taff by the looks of it, and just ahead of Mike as well. That was fantastic driving. And Pixie has really been racy today, like you said, Alex, but he didn't quite have the pace of Tyler in the end. So Tyler crosses the line 6th, ahead of Pixie in 7th and Matt in 8th. What a race to the end there.
Yeah, brilliant finale for the Ginetta Juniors in the PS4 group. As you can see though, Stu was just so dominant in the Dubai race. Almost 2 seconds faster on his fastest lap, and 20 seconds ahead. But as he said, it's bittersweet for him as the man in 2nd place, Monty MC Momo. He takes the championship.
Absolutely. I think back to some of the races where he was just hunting down Stewart and then managed to get past him in the end, and it was just little moments that made a big difference. And but only 5 points in it, has to be said, so nothing at all really. Ahead of Stewart there, and then a bit of a gap of course back to Del Boy, who comfortably beat Welsh Taff to 3rd place there, who just pipped Alex Brown and Dan Holloway. Pixie there as well in the mix, ahead of Mike and Matt and Tyler Attenborough as well. So yeah, what a championship that was. Really looking forward to the next one. Hopefully we get to see all these drivers in action again. And what's the next championship for them, Alex? What's that now? Is it IndyCar?
I believe it is IndyCar, so something completely different for the little Ginettas. Big downforce, big power and big speed, so it'll be great to see as we see confirmation of Monty MC Momo, your Ginetta Junior champion.
yeah, great driving by Monty there. Let's see how they all get on in IndyCar. Completely different, as you can see, yeah, confirmation on screen of what will be a fantastic championship, I'm sure. Completely different cars, very, very high downforce in comparison. We know Alex Brown likes those cars too, so he'll probably be in the mix as well. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and it's goodbye from Alex and I, and see you at the next championship.